Most agreements in everyday life leave room for interpretation. A contract might say something like, payment will be released once delivery is complete, or rewards are issued after eligibility is verified. Those phrases may sound clear, but in practice, they really depend on someone deciding what complete or eligible actually means. Smart contracts work differently. They cannot interpret intent or context. They only understand exact condition. For example, was a specific payment received? If the answer is yes, the contract runs. If the answer is no, it does nothing. This precision is part of why smart contracts are powerful and also why they must be designed very carefully. Once the rules are written and published, the contract's going to follow them exactly, even if the outcome surprises someone later. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Crypto Explained. I'm your crypto confidence coach, Allie, and I'm really excited to chat with you about our next topic, which is smart contracts. So in the beginning, cryptocurrencies were designed to send value from one person to another without a middleman. We know this, right? But then developers actually realized something else, that they could use new blockchain networks to run small programs of code to do entirely different things, like unlock other types of value, as long as certain conditions were met. These are called smart contracts, and they also work on the blockchain without a middleman. So today I'm diving into what smart contracts are, how they work, where they show up, and what you need to know before you transact with a smart contract. If you're crypto confused, after listening to today's episode, you're going to be one step closer to becoming crypto confident. And before we get started, if you're enjoying these plain English, no hype, no jargon breakdowns of crypto and how this technology actually works, make sure you're subscribed to our podcast. That way, every new episode drops straight into your feed and you won't miss any conversations where we're breaking down things like smart contracts today or building on chain and how all of this shows up in the real world, which we're excited to get into lots more coming up. So let's start by diving into the basic principles of smart contracts. They'll help you understand what they are and how they're used. Breaking it down, number one, a smart contract is just code that follows a simple rule. At its core, a smart contract is not a scary legal document or some complicated financial tool that you need a lawyer or a math degree to figure out. It's basically just a set of instructions written into a computer program. These instructions all follow one really basic idea. If this happens, then that happens. That's it. Think of it almost like a checklist. The smart contract sits there waiting. It watches for certain things to happen, like a payment going through, a button being clicked, or a digital signature being added. When everything on the checklist is complete, the contract automatically does the next step. If the checklist is not complete, then nothing happens. The contract does not move forward. It just waits. So when you hear people say the conditions are met, what they really mean is that the contract has seen everything it was told to look for. The payment arrived, the agreement was signed, the required action was complete. And then once that happens, the contract runs on its own automatically. No person has to step in and approve it, and no company has to process it. When a smart contract is put on a blockchain, those instructions get automatically published publicly and locked in forever, because we know how blockchains work, right? It's a permanent digital ledger that no one can ever go back and edit. You can only add to, and all of these computers need to approve the transaction in order for it to get added to the chain. By the way, if you missed our What is Blockchain Explainer episode, this is a great time for you to check that out. But essentially, when a smart contract goes on a blockchain and those instructions are published and locked in, they get stored on the shared network of computers, not just one company's server or even worse, one person's laptop. After that point, the rules cannot be quietly changed or edited. From that moment on, the contract behaves the same exact way every single time for everyone who uses it. It doesn't make any judgment calls or exceptions. It doesn't care who you are or where you live. It only checks whether the required steps have happened. If they have, it completes the action. If they have not, it does nothing. That automatic reliability is the whole point. Smart contracts remove the need to trust a person or an institution to follow through on something. Instead, the rules are followed automatically, exactly as written every single time. Let's use an example to make this even more concrete. Imagine you're buying digital art online using crypto. You and the seller agree to very simple terms. They're going to send you one ETH coin and the seller sends you the digital artwork as an NFT. Those rules are written into a smart contract. The contract is programmed to watch for this one thing only. Has one ETH been sent from the buyer's wallet? The moment that the payment arrives, the contract executes automatically. The ETH is transferred to the seller and the NFT gets transferred to the buyer at the same time. No one has to approve the transaction. No platform has to release the funds, and no one can just take the money and disappear without actually sending you the artwork. If the buyer never sends the 1 ETH, then nothing happens. The NFT stays with the seller, and the contract just continues to sit there waiting. That is the power of smart contracts. They turn agreements into automated actions. So once those conditions are met, the outcome is guaranteed 100% of the time. You don't need to trust, you don't need to enforce, and you don't need a middleman. The code handles it all. The second thing you really need to know about smart contracts is that they exist because blockchains evolved beyond sending money. So in the early days of crypto, blockchains were mainly used for really just one thing. Like we said, moving value from one person to another. You send money, someone else receives it. No middlemen, no waiting. Great, right? That alone was a big shift. For the first time, people could transfer value directly without needing permission from a financial institution or waiting for any third party or intermediary to process the transaction. But as developers spent more time working on blockchains, they realized that if a blockchain can securely move money, it doesn't have to stop there. That same system that keeps track of who owns which coin can also keep track of who owns other things, from digital items to access rights, agreements, or even just promises about what's supposed to happen. So instead of asking, hey, did that money ever arrive? Developers actually realized that blockchains could also ask, did everything else happen too? Was the agreement signed? Were the conditions met? Was the requirement completed? Did we get the proper signatures? This is where the idea of smart contracts came from. Smart contracts allow blockchains to do so much more than just act like a digital wire transfer. They actually make blockchains programmable. That means that developers can build rules directly into the tech, and in this case, determine how other types of value moves. Rather than sending money and trusting a person or company to handle the rest later, the blockchain itself could enforce those rules automatically and move the asset directly. That shift changed blockchains from simple payment systems into platforms where entire applications, services, marketplaces could all run, again, without that intermediary, that middleman slowing things down. Smart contracts were the missing link that made all of this possible. The third thing you need to know about a smart contract is they work like hotel key cards. When you check into a hotel, the front desk programs your key card with very specific rules conditioned on you paying for the room. The key card opens the door to your room. It works during your stay, and it stops working after you check out. If you try to use the key card before you check in or after you're supposed to check out, the door does not open. The system does not make exceptions. It simply checks whether the rules are still valid. A smart contract works very similarly, just digitally. Instead of unlocking a hotel room, a smart contract controls access to digital assets or services. It's programmed with clear conditions that must be met before anything happens. For example, it can be set to unlock funds only after a payment is received. It can grant access once an agreement is approved. It can release an item after a task is completed or a deadline is reached. And again, until those conditions are met, nothing happens, the contract just waits. But once those rules are satisfied, the smart contract automatically unlocks and releases whatever it controls. There's no approval step and no manual override and no person deciding behind the scenes. Just like a hotel key card, a smart contract does not care who you are or why you want access. It only checks whether the rules it was programmed with are still valid. That predictability is the whole point. Smart contracts enforce access and actions automatically as written every single time. The fourth thing you need to know about smart contracts is that when it's live, it follows the rules automatically. After a smart contract is created, it's uploaded to the blockchain. In simple terms, that means the instructions are published and shared to that shared network of computers and turned on. From that point forward, the rules are set. The contract is going to run exactly the way it was written every single time, which is why removing the middleman is such a big deal when these systems were first built. Traditionally, agreements depend on someone else to enforce them. A bank has to release funds, a platform has to approve a transfer, a legal system has to step in if something goes wrong. With smart contracts, the enforcement happens automatically and immediately. The moment the required steps are completed, the contract does what it was programmed to do. No waiting for approval, no needing to trust a third party to follow through on it later, no need to check for mistakes. The blockchain itself makes sure the agreement is carried out exactly as promised. They remove ambiguity by being exact. Most agreements in everyday life leave room for interpretation. A contract might say something like, payment will be released once delivery is complete, or rewards are issued after eligibility is verified. Those phrases may sound clear, but in practice, they really depend on someone deciding what complete or eligible actually means. Smart contracts work differently. They cannot interpret intent or context. They only understand exact conditions. Instead of vague language, they rely on specific, measurable inputs. For example, was a specific payment received? Was a digital signature submitted? Was a defined action completed on chain? If the answer is yes, the contract runs. If the answer is no, what does it do? Say it with me now. Nothing. It just sits there waiting. If the answer is no, it does nothing. This precision is part of why smart contracts are powerful and also why they must be designed very carefully. Once the rules are written and published, the contract's going to follow them exactly, even if the outcome surprises someone later. Smart contracts do not ask someone what they meant. They only check what actually happened. This is why smart contracts are best used in situations where rules can be really clearly defined up front. When the conditions are clear, the execution becomes predictable, reliable, and automatic. So at this point, smart contracts might feel a little bit clearer, but probably still a little bit abstract. Code, conditions, confusion. So let's ground this in reality and talk about how people are already using smart contracts. These are 3 questions we often get asked about smart contracts, and I want to finish this episode by getting them answered for you. Question number 1, in what scenarios would someone use a smart contract? Is it just for businesses? Great question. We get this a lot, and I think some of us, myself included, even thought that smart contracts were just for lawyers the first time we heard the term. But like with everything else in crypto, smart contracts can work for anyone and everyone, so long as you use them safely and responsibly, and really pay attention so you know what you're doing. Smart contracts are being used by businesses of all sizes, as well as everyday people like us, and many people are probably using smart contracts without even realizing it. Anytime you do anything online where an action happens automatically after certain steps are completed, that's the kind of job that a smart contract is designed to handle. And with millions of people and companies across the country already using blockchain and crypto, it's very likely that in some cases, smart contracts actually are handling these jobs. For example, imagine buying a digital item online and receiving it instantly once your payment goes through. Or earning a reward automatically after hitting a goal without having to fill out any forms or sending any emails and waiting for approval. Behind the scenes, a smart contract might already be handling that process. In fact, they're commonly used for things like digital art, online games, insurance payouts, reward programs, and financial apps. In each case, the same idea applies. When the rules are met, the outcome happens automatically. Smart contracts are especially useful anywhere that the rules are clear and repeatable. If a system can say, when this happens, do that, then a smart contract can run without any human involvement. So no, this isn't just for big companies or technical users. Smart contracts are increasingly built into everyday tools where things like automation, speed, and consistency really matter, even if you never see the contract itself. A great example of this can be seen in gaming. I actually have a quick crypto in the wild story I'd love to share with you about Tina, an online gamer. Before blockchain gaming, Tina's situation looked like this. She spent a lot of real time and real money acquiring special characters, weapons, and other in-game items of value. But at the end of the day, those items are still owned and controlled entirely by the gaming company. They couldn't be sold or traded freely, and were tied to her account, which meant that they became useless if Tina decided to stop playing, lost access, or if the game ever shut down for any reason. So when Tina started playing a blockchain-based game, that all changed, and the way she puts it, it added a whole new dimension to gaming. Instead of a game company managing her items, a smart contract handled them, so that whenever Tina earned or purchased with real money a gaming item in the game, a smart contract would create a record on the blockchain that said that item belonged to Tina, and it belonged in her digital wallet. That meant it could travel with her anywhere on the blockchain that she could access that digital wallet. So if Tina wanted to sell or trade the items, the smart contract would then check those rules, and whenever a buyer sent her the payment, the contract automatically transferred the item to the new owner and sent those funds to Tina. There's no trust required between players, no manual involvement from the game developer, and no wondering, hey, is this a scam or am I being catfished by some stranger online? Because the ownership rules lived in the smart contract, Tina kept control of her items even outside the game itself. Those items could even be recognized by other games built to work within the same blockchain, which is pretty cool for gamers being able to bring your digital swag and bounty from one game to the next. That's just one tiny example of how smart contracts are used in the wild. Question number 2 we get asked a lot: how do smart contracts help people outside of traditional financial systems? Smart contracts are useful because they remove many of the barriers that exist in traditional systems of all kinds, not just in banking and TradFi. In a lot of places, accessing financial tools requires a bank account, good credit, lots of paperwork, and approvals that vary depending on where in the world you live. If you don't meet those requirements, you're often locked out completely. Smart contracts work differently. As long as someone has an internet connection and a basic digital wallet, they can use the same tools as anyone else. There's no application process, no credit check, and no need for permission from an intermediary. This gives everyone a way to participate in the same financial systems, regardless of who they are or where they come from. The rules are the same for everyone. The access is the same, and the opportunities are the same. That level playing field is one of the many reasons why smart contracts are seen as such a powerful shift in how all traditional systems can work around the world. And burning question number 3, are smart contracts faster than traditional methods? Another great question that we get a ton. In traditional systems, a lot of time is just spent waiting for someone to review something, waiting for a department to process it, waiting for business hours, weekends to pass, holidays, or approvals to just move through all of the different layers of the system. With a smart contract, none of those barriers exist. Once you complete the required steps, the result happens automatically. There's no one behind the scenes checking boxes or manually pushing things through, which also means no room for human error. If the rules are met, the contract runs right away, and that means that payments, transfers, or access can happen in minutes or even seconds instead of days or even weeks. So it may seem instant because the system doesn't depend on people being available. It only depends on whether the required steps were complete. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap some of the key insights from today. Number 1, smart contracts are simple instructions. At their core, they follow one rule. When certain steps happen, an action happens automatically. No approvals, no waiting, and no one deciding behind the scenes. Number 2, they exist because developers realized blockchains could track ownership and enforce rules, so smart contracts became the tool that turned blockchains into programmable systems. Number 3, they work like hotel key cards. When you check into a hotel, the front desk gives you a card that works for your room during your stay and stops working after checkout, as long as you checked in and paid. Number 4, smart contracts remove middlemen and enforce agreements automatically. The moment the rules are met, the contract carries out the agreement exactly as written. Smart contracts move fast and work globally around the world. Because there are no human bottlenecks, smart contracts can settle really quickly and work the same way no matter who you are or where you live. Now that we have the basics down, we're going to take this one step further in an upcoming episode. We're going to be doing a follow-up interview with Dom and Phil Kwok of Easy A, diving deeper into smart contracts and building 101, which is going to get into how developers are actually using smart contracts to build new exciting things on the blockchain. Blockchains act like shared databases that no single company owns or controls. As long as you follow the rules of the network, anyone can build on top of them. You don't need to be a developer to use crypto, but if you're curious about how things are actually built, Easy A is a great place to start exploring different ecosystems, from the XRP, Ledger, to Solana. And before you go, if today's episode helped make smart contracts feel a little clearer and more approachable, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Subscribing helps you keep building on what you've learned here, and it ensures you don't miss any upcoming episodes that'll help you go from being crypto confused to crypto confident. So if you found this episode useful, sharing it with someone who's curious about crypto but maybe a little bit overwhelmed can really help too. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next episode.